Today is Tuesday, June 20th, 2023. I'm Adam Hartog. Sitting next to me, as always, is my esteemed and handsome co-host, Tom Frey. And this is episode 9 of The Breakdown, powered by 528 Collectibles. We have a pretty fun and packed show today. We're recording on a Tuesday as opposed to our usual Monday slot because Tom and I were in Nashville for our friend Steve's bachelor party. It was a lot of fun. We'll talk about it a little bit in housekeeping, but on today's show we have housekeeping, which will include the Nashville trip, NBA Finals, some Jokic stuff. We'll talk about the Beal trade a little bit. Tom and I will go into our one big thing. Then we'll, for the meat, we're talking about the NBA draft tonight. We'll do awards and trivia. It's going to be a fun show. Let's go. Okay, recording this just after 8 p.m. on Tuesday. Tom and I got back from Nashville yesterday from Steve's bachelor party. How was the trip for you?
The trip was good. Just gonna get this out of the way now. My voice sounds terrible. I'm sorry for all of you that have to listen to it. I got made fun of all day at work today by my boss. First thing that he said to me was, "Your voice is shot." So that wasn't great. It at least doesn't hurt me to speak anymore, which is progress. I'm just gonna try to voice crack as little as possible. And yeah, trip was a lot of fun though.
Nashville's super cool.
Nashville is super cool.
The fact that the bars are multi-floored and they alternate live music and DJs on every floor is such a different vibe that it makes for a really fun experience.
Yeah, it's better than the whole being trapped in a New York City basement feel that we usually get. So
I agree, where you're just getting pushed every direction.
Yeah, where you're a sardine pretty much, just getting battered around all night. Yeah, so Nashville was cool. Definitely would go back again.
Hopefully not with the same flight experience.
Definitely not. I've had horrible flight experiences like almost every time I've flown lately. Flight home was good, but flight there was just a total nightmare.
My flight home was at 6 a.m. on Monday, so I was at the airport. I fell asleep in the Uber to the airport, which got to the airport at like 5. I fell asleep at the gate in the terminal. I probably looked like the typical dude flying back from a bachelor party, like way too early in the morning, and I had like maybe 1.5 drinks the night before, so it wasn't like I was just wildly hungover. I was just exhausted. I accidentally fell asleep. I meant to just stay up through my flight, but everyone else went to sleep at like 2 the night before, and I was just up. I expected to have at least 2 or 3 people that I could just force to stay up with me until I had to leave.
The prior 2 nights of us staying out till 5 a.m. I think it was too much to overcome on our last night. The 2 a.m. I'm shocked we even made it to 2 a.m. honestly, but it was a struggle, as you can all hear. But my flight home was with our dear friends Perry and Connor, and we were just stuffing our face with Chick-fil-A. Except, like, I know Connor will never listen to this, but the amount that kid
Connor listens.
He does.
The first thing he said to me when I saw him was like about the podcast.
Okay, well,
he said it's gotten better every episode.
Guys,
shout out Connor.
Guy's a heathen, dude. He had 3 Chick-fil-A sandwiches. Still starving. Goes and gets snacks. Still hungry.
What snacks? Candy or like
pretzels?
Chips?
Pretzels.
Right, that's a good snack. Respect.
Then they got me into the fancy lounge. I think
the Amex lounge.
Yeah, they had the card. I didn't have the card. They got me in there. Then they had penne vodka. And this is all before 11 a.m. They had a plate of penne vodka and a pastry dish.
Yeah,
of muffins. The pastries were delicious. And an apple turnover. This is all within the span of 2 hours for 11 a.m. We land, he's starving. I'm still stuffed from my Chick-fil-A. He's starving.
Guy's an athlete.
Guy's got the fastest metabolism in the entire world.
So other things that happened since we last recorded, the Nuggets won the NBA Finals in a gentleman's sweep. Jokic won the Finals MVP. I don't know if you have anything to say about this series. We called it.
We did call it. We knew that it was going to happen. The Heat just ran out of gas, and the Nuggets were better than everyone was giving them credit for. And all the talk of them having an easy road, like, who did they avoid? The Warriors? That's like about it.
I mean, the Lakers were better than the Warriors, and they handled the Lakers. That probably shouldn't have even gone as long as it did that series.
I think Steph gives them trouble. I think Steph gives the Nuggets trouble.
You missed my Should have been shorter than a sweep joke.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Was too focused on the actual discussion. When you get something in your head and you don't want to forget it, so you don't listen to anything anyone else says.
Yeah, that's me pretty much hourly.
Yeah, so that's what happened there. But I think Steph gives the Nuggets issues, if I remember correctly. So, that's the only team they really avoided. Otherwise, their run was their run. They beat all the good teams, and deservedly so.
At no point in the playoffs did anybody else look like the best team in the league.
No, that's very well put. Maybe the Heat one game, where they were just a force, but it's just
one game against the Bucks, maybe with Jimmy scoring almost 60.
Yeah, exactly. But otherwise, the Nuggets were the best team in the league for pretty much the entire season. Subtract 15 games there at the end when it didn't matter and they stopped trying, but. Yeah, the Nuggets were the best team and they won.
So I was doing a thought exercise today stemming from this. I was trying to figure out where Jokic currently stands in the all-time rankings, and I will tell you my list of where I've gotten to and where he ends up. And I will give you some commentary along the way. So I start off 1 and 2 is MJ and LeBron, and under no circumstances am I willing to change the two people in the top two or the order.
Okay.
Third, I have Kareem. Fourth, I have Kobe. Fifth, I have Bill Russell. I then have Larry Bird and Magic Johnson. And either way...
In that order?
In that order. And to be honest, either way, I don't feel good about it. I don't feel great about it. If I have Magic over Larry Bird, I also won't feel great about it. I don't feel great about it having Larry and Magic. This is really where I start to get into... things can be flipped territory.
They're so intertwined, even just historically and based on their impact on the NBA and even the peaks of their careers. It's hard to put one over the other. It's just a matter of almost preference of play style. And I'm sure Lakers fans have Magic higher and Celtics fans have Bird higher, but we don't really have a horse in that race. So I probably have Magic higher, but it's barely. They're both right there. It's just basically preference.
I think the book of basketball swung me quite a bit too. Simmons is obviously a big Celtics fan.
Yeah, so you're getting your biased news there. It's gonna influence your opinion. But totally agree. You can go either way with that. I don't think there's anyone who gets upset at you linking those two together has never watched basketball, pretty much.
I mean, to be honest, I'm a little upset at how I did it, but I would be upset at myself if I did it the other way. That's kind of where I landed. I'm not concrete. I'm not concrete on this opinion, and I could flip it. I could wake up tomorrow night and be like, that was the dumbest thing I ever said. Flip it, and do the same thing the next day.
I more so mean anyone who would put one much higher than the other.
Oh, yeah, okay. I get that.
You could, I think either way, one being one higher or the other being higher I think you're fine either way.
So then I have 8 and 9. I have Tim Duncan and Shaq. Okay. I feel just as conflicted with those two, but I don't know. Tim Duncan won a title in the 90s and 2014. He did, and he was a key player on all of those teams. He was basically guaranteed 50 wins his entire career. I feel like the longevity is kind of what gave him the tip in that direction. And
over
at
Shaq?
the end of the day, I think so, yeah. I mean, people have said Shaq's the most unguardable player in history when he was at his peak.
Shaq's the most dominant player of all time at his peak. I don't really even know anyone that argues it. He was just so physically imposing. Teams were building putting extra big men on their rosters just so they could get some extra fouls on him. That level of sheer dominance warrants him that spot in the top 10. Plus, he did a lot of winning. But Tim Duncan is the greatest power forward of all time. The big fundamental.
Five-time champion.
Yeah, and so good defensively for such a long time. So impactful, so efficient, and such an unselfish player. It's a crazy thought exercise if he ended up... There was a time where he very nearly went to the Magic and would have been paired up with T-Mac, and that would have been pretty crazy. And imagine how different like the history of the NBA would have been. But not to get down that rabbit hole. Point being is, again, they're a little interchangeable, but I would go with the same thing that you did.
Then to close out the top 10, I have Kevin Durant.
Oh, okay. I don't disagree. I just didn't see it coming.
I had Steph 11.
Okay, that was probably who I would have had 10.
It does not sit right with me that I have Steph outside of the top 10. But at the same time, I can't not have KD in there.
I comfortably have Steph over KD at 10. I didn't make a list like you did, so I don't have anything to reference, but I do comfortably have Steph over KD all time. Beyond just the fact that he's won more, and he did win, one or two without KD? Two? Yeah. And it didn't matter to me because I think he should have won the Finals MVP over Iguodala, but he got his Finals MVP. He was unanimous MVP. But beyond all of that, the way he influenced the game and changed the NBA forever with his three-point shooting it does matter for his all-time legacy, I think. Kind of how Bird and Magic's, the way they saved the NBA. Sorry, not Magic's. I don't want people thinking I think his name is Magic's. Bird and Magic's impact on the NBA, I think, will always propel them higher than some others who are comparable to them. Like Shaq and Duncan, I don't think anyone who would argue them over those two is necessarily wrong, because it's very, in terms of talent and in terms of careers, but in terms of impact on the NBA, Bird and Magic saved the entire league. So their spot's pretty entrenched. And for me, the way Steph changed the NBA forever, that puts him over KD. There is, the more I'm saying it, there is the argument that KD's height and his ability to be that big of a wing and play like a guard has led to all of the Victor Wembanyamas and even like the Kristaps Porzingis and the Markkanens, and it definitely was impactful, but it's still and also
guys like MPJ.
Yeah, and also though his flip-flopping around hurts legacy-wise, which is what this is basically just ranking legacies.
How much does it hurt legacy-wise though? Because
it hurts for me.
Okay.
It impacts my view of his legacy. It's not him flip-flopping. It's him going to the Warriors after they beat him.
It's a very weak move, but he was the best player on those teams.
He was, but they had just won without him.
No, they lost.
Sorry, they had just beaten him and made it to the finals without him. There's no comparable, there's nothing like it. It's like if LeBron left the Cavs and went to the Celtics.
Yeah.
Imagine that's exactly what it is with their big 3/4 at that time. That is exactly that. LeBron would have borderline never recovered from that.
Or Ray Allen leaving the Celtics for the Heat. Not
the same thing. Ray wasn't the same caliber of player at that point in his career.
No, I mean, you're saying as KD, obviously.
Yeah.
At no point was he ever the same caliber as KD.
No, but he was. Yes, but he was a much higher caliber player at a point in his career than he was then.
Yeah,
he was role player status at that time
with Milwaukee.
Yeah, with Milwaukee and Seattle, and even early on with the Celtics. When he left, he was older, and it's just different.
Right.
For me, it just impacts his legacy. Moral of the story.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I really don't feel good not having Steph in the top 10. I just couldn't personally. I just had KD higher. But 12 I have Hakeem, and then I have Jokic, 13.
Okay.
After that, you got guys like Jerry West, Oscar Robertson, but like.
Okay.
Maybe I'm underestimating them. I don't really.
It's hard when you go that far back.
Yeah.
It's hard to compare across eras like that. I mean, Jerry West won a Finals MVP when his team lost. If we're talking, impact on the NBA, he is still the logo. But again, it's just you're going so far back. It's hard because where do you put Giannis right after those two?
I know that's what I was thinking too.
Yeah.
It's like, do I have Giannis or Jokic higher? I think I have Jokic.
I don't know.
It's tough, yeah, but
I
think he can get. I think you can put him as high as 13.
I agree.
And that's crazy.
Honestly, the Giannis Jokic discussion is very interesting.
Yeah, it's going to be the player of this era, basically. Like, who was the guy after LeBron?
I think right now, pretty even. I'd put them pretty even, and it going forward now, because now they both have their MVP, or Jokic has 2, but Giannis has... Oh, they both have 2.
Yeah, they both have 2
But
in a row.
Giannis has his Defensive Player of the Year.
That's true. Jokic should have a 3rd MVP.
That's also true. So it's... I think they're right neck and neck. I think they're so close. I think you can pick either right now. And I think, like, if Giannis wins the championship next year...
That's probably...
Then it's him.
Yeah. I hope we
if he wins MVP,
we get a finals between them.
That would be amazing. That would be the Kobe LeBron finals that we never got.
Yeah.
I mean, it wouldn't be that, but it would be similar. The Kobe LeBron finals was, that would have been...
That's 2 top 5 players of all time.
But this is 2 top 15 players of all time.
If they're playing in a finals, then it's probably,
Yeah.
It's right now top 15.
Yeah, it could be top 10.
Could be top...
Could
be 12 and 13.
What if they both win... Theoretically. They alternate the next 4 MVPs.
Oh, I mean, yeah. I was picturing this next year.
Oh, no. I'm talking if going in the future.
I mean, yeah, if they both have 4 MVPs, then that puts them in like 4 players of all time territory, including them. Maybe 5.
Yeah.
LeBron has 4. Jordan has 5
MVPs.
Yeah,
I think that's right.
And
LeBron should have more.
Yeah,
but
LeBron probably should have won at least the year Rose won. As much as I love Derrick Rose, that was 100% recency bias.
That was LeBron fatigue.
Yeah,
and this year
not recency bias. I meant LeBron fatigue.
This year was probably a bit of Jokic fatigue. That stuff's so
/
real.
Embiid unfatigue. Embiid /
freshness. It was Embiid's turn.
Yeah.
It was narrative. It was Jokic fatigue. It was Jokic stopped trying for those 15 games, however many games. But it's interesting. It'll be... I think you're right. I think Embiid is a clear 3rd, if not lower, behind Jokic and Giannis. I think they're top 2, and then I would put Jokic and... Sorry, not Jokic. Embiid and probably like KD and Steph, in another tier.
I agree.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you agree.
Other NBA housekeeping, the Beal trade. So the Suns received in this trade Bradley Beal, Jordan Goodwin, and Isaiah Todd. I don't know who Jordan Goodwin is. The Wizards got...
Honestly, I also don't know who Jordan Goodwin is.
Apologies if he's a listener.
No, that is... if you haven't figured it out by listening, I know pretty much every player in the NBA.
Yeah.
Like, give or take a couple. I don't really know why. I can't remember anything else. But when it comes to stuff like that, I know it. But Jordan Goodwin, he played 2 games his rookie year. And he actually played a lot this year for the Wizards, but...
I mean, who's watching the Wizards?
I did more than you'd think, but I could have thought he was someone else. I don't know. All right, good. Sorry, Jordan Goodwin.
The Wizards received Chris Paul, Landry Shamet, multiple second-round picks, and multiple pick swaps. I'm not sure if it was announced which ones they were, but when I looked up the details of the trade earlier today to see if it was ironed out, the article still said multiple. So, not sure what exactly that will turn into, but Beal has 3 years left on his deal with an average annual value of $50 million, and he's a player option for the 4th year at $57 million. He turns 30 next week. He played every single game in 2018-19, but he's only played in 207 games in the 4 seasons since then. The furthest the Wizards made with Beal is Game 7 of the conference semifinals in 2017. I think that was the game that Olynyk went bonkers.
That sounds right.
He had a usage rate of 29 this season, and I expect Chris Paul to be traded or cut. I think a lot of people do, including Chris Paul, his agent, the Wizards, and everyone affiliated with the National Basketball Association league-wide.
Yeah, I'd...
And Kai.
Although, all yes, and Kai. Oh, she's sleeping very cute right now. I hope you guys can see that. But I also thought Chris Paul would be traded from the Thunder that one year, and he led them to the playoffs.
That's true.
That was pretty crazy. But I don't think he stays.
No.
He's too old now.
Yeah, he doesn't have years to burn.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I don't know where he goes. He could pretty much go to any contender that needs a point guard. The Heat would be an interesting one.
Boston.
Boston. I even saw the Knicks on one report today, but the Knicks have been linked to every player in recorded history.
Was Chris Paul CAA guy or wherever Neon Leon came from? I feel like he's a clutch guy, right?
Calling him Neon Leon is really funny.
Thank you.
I just wanted you to know that.
I hope it catches on.
Me too, but I think he might have been CAA. I feel like everyone was CAA for
back in the day,
for a long time there. But I'm not sure if he was a Neon Leon guy.
I have no idea if Beal's going to be a good fit on this team. Guy has never been the second option really since John Wall was at his peak.
Well, now he's the third.
Yeah. What is he just going to stand in the corner?
No, they're going to have to stagger their minutes like they did with the Nets because they're redundant now. I don't mean it in a bad way. I mean it in the same way that Kyrie and Harden were redundant. It's just if you need the ball in your hands to score and you have two guys plus Kevin Durant, it's too many mouths to feed. But if you take Beal and stagger his minutes, and then in crunch time they basically just take turns or take whatever matchup, I think it's going to be really hard to guard all three of them. It creates more matchup problems than I think it does issues within the team, especially because of how good of shooters all three of them are.
Beal's not as great a shooter as he used to be.
Yeah, but he's also had to take a lot of bad shots.
Yeah.
With that said, it sounds like I love the trade. I really don't. I don't think he was necessary. I didn't think Harden was necessary for the Nets. But that was because the Nets had all these role players around them that I thought fit perfectly. The Suns didn't give all of that up.
Do you, or I should say, would you like the Beal trade more if they didn't do the Kevin Durant trade? They still had Bridges and a boatload of first-round picks.
Theoretically, if you had a Beal, Booker, McCall Bridges, Cam Johnson, Ayton lineup, it's a really, really good, really deep lineup. But now it's Beal, Booker, KD, maybe Ayton if they keep him, and Campaign, who's a good backup. They're gonna need more. They're gonna need more depth. They're gonna need a lot more depth.
And you're essentially committing your future in the next 4 years to this trio. You're not going to move the Beal contract again.
No, and
he's the only guy in the league with a no-trade clause. How crazy is that?
Yeah.
That's like the Deshaun Watson contract.
They just don't give it anymore. They just don't give full no-trade clauses anymore. They have some guys with partial no-trades, I think.
Well, like or like a no,
like a no-trade list. Yeah, it's stuff like that. But it's he's the only one with a full no-trade clause. But also, who's trading for him?
Nobody now.
I don't think anyone would have traded. I don't think anyone's trading for him anyway. Because you'd be getting him, assume they're not going to move him at the deadline, right?
No.
So you'd be getting him after next year when he's a year older and still getting paid for 3 more years or what, 2 more years?
2 more after this, but he's going to pick up his option. It's for $60 million.
Yeah.
You want to move on to one big thing?
Sure.
Cool. You want to go first?
Yeah, I will go first. My one big thing is the U.S. men's national team just won the CONCACAF Nations League tournament.
Oh, I forgot to give you your Champions of CONCACAF handshake.
Congratulations.
You as well. Many happy returns.
Soon to be, hopefully, Gold Cup champions as well. But Nations League is not obviously, because most of you don't know. Nations League is way more important than the Gold Cup. They had their full A lineup minus Tyler Adams and Tim Ream. It was the best showing across 2 games I've maybe ever seen us play. It was the debut of Balogun. He scored. Pulisic looked amazing. Gio Reyna looked great. It was an all-around performance, and it cemented the U.S. as the best team in CONCACAF. They'd already pretty much been there. Canada was kind of knocking at the door, and Mexico, I think both teams had done better than the U.S. in qualifying for the World Cup. So, but we just dominated them in the semifinal and the final, and it wasn't even close. And the worst part of it is, it was with a second interim coach.
Yeah.
And we just brought back the guy who I wouldn't say cost us the World Cup, but he certainly didn't do us any favors in the World Cup.
No, and left a huge cloud of turmoil in his wake.
Yeah. Alienated arguably his best player, not right now, but could be his best player going forward. Boy. Yeah. He
could be.
Had domestic violence accusations that he pretty much confirmed.
He did confirm.
Yeah, he did and they still chose to bring him back. It's an ugly situation, and they brought in an outside guy to head U.S. soccer, and they still, in his search, concluded he was the best option when they had interest from coaches who'd had success in Europe. Like not a ton of success, but Patrick Vieira is a very accomplished player and a pretty accomplished coach. I mean, the rumors were they were talking to some pretty big fish. So now is that all just posturing? Was that all just to appease the fan base? Maybe. It's frustrating, but it'll be interesting to see where they go going forward. We're just so much better that we need to be consistently playing against the top competition in the world.
We're Georgia in the SEC East.
Yeah, you're not testing what is it? Gonzaga.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The WAC, is that what they're playing? The West Coast Conference.
Yeah, something like that. I don't know what the slang, what the kids are calling it, but
you don't know the Riz.
Yeah, I don't have the Riz for all that, but
that's Perry's shout out. He's been clamoring for.
I was gonna get into Perry's double bananas a little bit, but I'll save that for another time.
That's for the Christmas special.
Yeah, that's not for right now. But yeah, we are at the point now where the U.S. men's national team needs to be considered as not the world's elite, but knocking on the door.
The world's very good.
The world's very good.
What is the future of the MMA midfield? Because the trio they threw out for the final was kind of running the show.
It all depends on form. Gio looked so good.
Yeah.
I'd like to see where his next move is. I'd like to see McKennie's next move. Adams' recovery from injury, where he goes if he's still getting as many minutes. Musa's continued development because he's only 20.
Musa's undroppable.
I agree. There's been some of that debate I've seen on Twitter. I don't think you can take Musa out of the lineup because you can't even, most people, if you're not like watching closely, can't even tell how impactful he is. You know what I mean? Because he's not a flashy player necessarily. He's just moving the ball upfield and being all over the field. And it's his ability to turn and run upfield, same with Gio's, is so valuable, and Adams' inability when it comes to that is really glaring at times. It could come down to matchup, it could come down to form. If Musa goes to a new club and doesn't play for a year, we don't have any depth behind Sergiño Dest except Scally, but they're just such different players that Dest's attacking ability gets him the spot. It's like Matt Turner hasn't played for Arsenal much, but he's just better for the team, so he gets to play.
I'd like to see some Slanina this summer.
Me too with the Gold Cup.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're going to give it to him. I think they should, but I don't know if they will. The Gold Cup, I was looking at the roster today. They brought in more unknowns, not just more guys that aren't conventional USA players. Like there's less Walker Zimmermans and Jesus Ferreras, less MLS guys that have been around forever. than I thought there would be, which is exciting. There's
Yeah.
a few guys like the Gaga Sloninas and a few of the younger like U20, U22 kind of guys that are in there that I'm excited for. Bad voice crack. There it
That's
is.
the first one.
I have been talking for a while. But yeah, it's
Clip that.
it's all about building depth at this point. It's going to be rare that we're going to have all four of them healthy at the same time and all in form. So form could come into play, matchup could come into play. I don't think it'll be a set 3 lineup as it has been. I don't think the MMA midfield is locked in the way it has been. I think Gio just shouldn't play out wide. His talents are best used centrally, clearly. Clearly. And the fact that Berhalter didn't try him there more is malpractice. Is coaching malpractice. I would have been pissed off if I was him too, if I was Gio. It's unreal that he was being used as a wing sub when he's very clearly best served in the middle. The things he was doing against Canada were unreal. He was dancing around players. He had an unbelievable assist to Balogun. He was taking all of our corners. We had the worst corners, least threatening corners in the whole World Cup of any team that I watched. And Pulisic's just not good at them. And that's fine. He's good at a lot of other things, but we needed that. And we just he didn't even try. He was so stuck that now this became a fuck Berhalter speech, which it is always. I cannot believe that he's back. I cannot in my bones believe that he is back. To my core, I am bothered. Even his biggest defenders were like, maybe it's time for a fresh start. And there's some guys that are just like in love with him on Twitter, and that's fine. If you're gonna do that, that's cool for you, but I don't give a shit. Like, objectively speaking, it was time to move on.
And the whole process of bringing him back was entirely mismanaged.
And the process of bringing him in the first place was mismanaged. His brother's on the board. Yeah. He wasn't even a successful MLS coach.
No.
It's unfathomable. It is borderline embarrassing.
It's humiliating. What do you mean borderline embarrassing?
Well, I like to be careful with my words sometimes. But
I don't.
I know you don't.
It's why it's great that my co-host is a lawman.
Yeah.
Because I could just blab out things and then you can clean up my mess.
Yeah, I tried to. But
on Reyna, that assist to Balogun, the ability to put out a through ball that has enough pace to get past the defenders, but is weighted just right so that it will slow down in the path of a striker is a world-class ability. And the confidence of Balogun to point and be like, put this thing here, I'm going to score.
It's something we haven't had.
Ever.
Clint and Josie were real good.
They had the confidence, but the ceiling is
the ceiling is much higher, but I don't...
Doing it at this age, like in a final, your first game, second game.
I agree. We did... When we were not great, we had a few guys that were really good. I just don't want it to be forgotten that those guys were really good.
No, I don't. I'm underselling it in my excitement about the fact that we have a striker who, by all accounts, has the potential to be one of the 10 best strikers in the world.
For sure.
Kai's adjusted his nap position. While we're on soccer, Chelsea seem very poised to sell Kai Havertz this week, in the next few days. That stinks.
His namesake?
Yeah, because for those who don't know, I'm a very big fan of Chelsea Football Club. And in 2021, they won the Champions League for the second time in their history. And the winning goal was scored by a German international named Kai Havertz. And for those that don't know, the Champions League trophy has massive handles on the side. Can we drop in a picture of that?
I can try.
And its nickname is Old Big Ears. And Kai's a German Shepherd who has old big ears. And so that's kind of where the name came from. So it's sad that they're going to sell him, but they're going to get a pretty nice profit for somebody who, not profit, but a nice pickup for somebody who's not really in their future plans.
Yeah. I saw that actually that they were going to sell him. What was it? Arsenal?
I don't like it.
Increase their bid.
Arsenal.
Yeah, but Chelsea just keeps bringing guys in and kicking them out. The turnover is pretty unreal.
Well, now a lot of people are pissed because they're just selling off bad contracts to the Saudi league, and like a lot of people want them investigated and like rules changed. Yeah, I mean he's not like a bad contract. It's just
he was just the only one I knew that they sold to the Saudi league.
They're selling probably Ziyech. They got rid of. They're probably gonna move Koulibaly. Edward Mendy's going over. Todd Boehly, Chelsea's new owner, has connections with people in the Saudi like government from his time before owning Chelsea through like his business ventures at Clear Lake Capital and companies like that. So it's like, do me a favor.
Okay. Well, either way.
Good for me.
Yeah, good for you. It is good for you as a fan.
Yeah.
And it's good for me as a fan if they sell Pulisic to not a Saudi league.
Yeah, that would suck.
That would suck so bad.
Shall I do
you're up. Oh, jeez. We're deep in it already.
I told you we're not going to be done by 9.
I know, we're not even close. All right.
So my one big thing is that it is a checkpoint for the NBA's Big 3 super team era. Can I rant with a little verbal history?
Go nuts, man.
So I am essentially defining this era as beginning when the Celtics traded for Ray Allen and then shortly thereafter Kevin Garnett in the 2007 offseason, and they won the title the next season. LeBron and Chris Bosh joined Dwayne Wade in Miami in 2010, and the Heat won a championship 2 years later and repeated the season after. The Lake Show acquired Steve Nash and Dwight Howard in 2012. It was an unmitigated disaster. Kobe and Dwight clashed from day one. Mike Brown was fired after 5 games. He went 1-12 in 13 games that year if you include the preseason. Nash was a shell of himself. He played 65 total games over 2 seasons in LA. He had a player efficiency rating of 20.2 in 16 seasons before the Lakers, and it went down to 15 with the Lakers. Next up, LeBron joins Kyrie in Cleveland, and then the Cavs flipped Wiggins for Kevin Love. They won the East every single year that LeBron was on the team, and obviously the championship in 2016. In 2016, that same offseason, KD joined the 73-win Warriors, and they won 2 titles immediately in a row. KD won the Finals MVP both times. KD hopped to Brooklyn with Kyrie in 2019, and then they acquired James Harden via trade in 2021. This is the most famous example maybe of a disastrous big three super team.
Other than, the older Nets big 3.
With like Joe Johnson and Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Darren Williams, and that team probably should have been better.
Probably. I mean,
they were just old, but either
really
way. Sorry.
Old, yeah.
Go
The
on.
Suns paired Kevin Durant with Booker and CP3 last season and now swapped CP3 out for Beal. Honorable mentions in the Big 3 super team-ish era. And I want to clarify, I didn't include guys like the Spurs with Duncan, Parker, and Manu because it's more like...
Homegrown Big 3s don't count.
Yeah, artificially acquired. Honorable mentions, Giannis, Chris Middleton, and Drew Holiday.
Okay.
Carmelo Anthony, Derrick Rose, and Joakim Noah.
I hate that you brought that one up.
Jimmy Butler, Dwayne Wade, and Rajon Rondo in Chicago.
Okay.
Jimmy Butler, Andrew Wiggins, and Karl Anthony Towns in Minnesota.
Okay, so we're really just...
And Jimmy Butler, Joel Embiid, and Ben Simmons in Philadelphia. So...
Well, I have one that you forgot.
Shoot.
Melo, Paul George, Russell Westbrook with Oklahoma City.
You know, I almost also threw in Melo, LeBron, and Russ.
Oh, that one would just be mean. Melo was too old at that point. That's just...
I mean, not according to LeBron's tweet.
Well, LeBron is just something else.
I have kept that same narrative just like he asked, that team was going to suck.
Yeah, no, I know. They were very old.
But anyway, you can't pencil in the team winning the title being the team with the best Big 3 anymore. I mean, recent champions, obviously the Nuggets, the Warriors, the Bucks, the Lakers, the Raptors. Like, I know I said the Bucks as an honorable mention, but you can really argue that none of those teams had a Big 3 at that point. because that was the post KD Warriors.
I would say there was a pretty seismic shift when the Raptors won.
Yeah.
And then Kawhi went to the Clippers. It was weird. It was like the second it happened, it was like, is the big three dead? Is it time for the big two?
Yeah, because he partnered up with Paul George.
Yeah, but it was just weird how the narrative just changed. Just like they didn't do anything yet, and it just that already became it.
They still haven't done anything.
No, I don't think they will. But it's weird how that narrative switched. But yeah, it's now they tried it again with the new Nets. That big three, it didn't work. I don't know. This is an interesting callback, I would say. I thought we were done with big threes. Yeah. I thought it was big two and depth.
That's why the Beal trade is like oh wait.
Yeah.
Where do we stand on this kind of moment?
Because the first thing I said was, or earlier in this episode, was that they need to build depth now. They have no depth. I mean, the fact that they still have Ayton, I know you don't like him and you don't think he's a winning player. But he's just like, he's better than a depth center. You know?
Yeah, I agree with that. He could be the second best player on a lot of teams.
Yeah, they wouldn't be good teams.
No.
But he could do it. Yeah.
The NBA's probably just too good now to have three guys on their own carry you to a championship. Like, your bench is just going to get worked.
Yeah. Teams figured out how to beat the big threes, pretty much. Unless those big threes have a ton of depth, like the Warriors did.
Yeah.
But it's so
Nuggets
hard.
Might if just veterans looking for a ring start moving there.
Depending on, are you putting Michael Porter Jr. as the big third?
No, I'm just saying like how the. You're right. I shouldn't have said that because it wasn't. I didn't mean for it to be a big three. I was just saying like how the Nuggets they're going to need.
Oh yeah, they'll need to keep building depth. Yeah. But it's when you're paying three guys that big of money, it's really hard to acquire players not on the veteran minimum unless you already have them.
Especially with the new CBA, which makes it way harder to have three players like that. It makes it way harder to have two players like that. Like it's going to be way harder for the Celtics to re-sign Jaylen Brown than it would have been a few years ago.
Yeah, I agree. It's I think. Look, I thought Devin Booker and Kevin Durant. I mean, even just the two of them were almost good enough. Not really almost good enough, but they put up a real good fight against the Nuggets, and Devin Booker was doing ungodly things. But,
yeah, I mean, it took almost a 90-point game combined to steal one from the Nuggets, though.
No, yeah, and I'm saying like, and it was just the two of them.
Yeah,
they had nothing else.
Yeah, no, I agree with you.
So, with Beal, it does make them interesting for sure. I mean, they were already interesting, but now it makes them real interesting. Assuming, yeah, okay, sure, fascinating's a step up from interesting. Yeah, thank you, but it'll be interesting to see if one, they can all stay healthy, and two, just how they spread the ball around.
Yeah, only one ball.
Yeah, but I mean, again,
shout out Lance Armstrong.
Wow.
I should have saved that for an award going forward.
Yeah.
The Lance Armstrong Award for too many guys on the team. There's only one ball.
You're right. Maybe in like season 3 you can bring it back, and I won't remember. Honestly, you could probably bring it back in 3 episodes, and I wouldn't remember. But yeah. That's all I got on your one big thing. You got anything else?
No, I mean, like, I guess how would you rank some of those big threes, the non-honorable mentions one? I would probably go the Warriors, the Heat, the Celtics. That's my top 3. I'm not really going to bother with, like, the Lakers and the Nets failed big threes.
No, yeah, I mean, I think that's where I would go with that as well. To our point about having depth, even those LeBron, Bosh, Wade teams
had depth.
No. They struggled so bad because they had such little depth. That's why they were able to be beaten. They ended up building depth. But at first they didn't have any.
Oh, in like 2011.
Yeah. But then they were able to get Battier and Ray Allen and and Mike Miller. But even those guys were just old guys. You know?
They were, like, they came in clutch.
They
did. Mike Miller had 7 threes in the finals
with one shoe
game.
on.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but for sure they were impactful. But you can't win without depth. That's pretty much. That should just be the name of the episode.
Can't win without depth?
Yeah, it won't be the name of the episode.
The Dirty Ernie story?
Yeah. Yes, the Dirty Ernie story.
Did you see my Snapchat about that?
I did. Dirty Ernie was our, what do you call him?
Pontoon saloon captain.
Oh, yeah, captain. I was going to say our boat pilot.
Our BP.
Our BP.
Would you like to move on to awards?
I would.
Okay. Oh, wait. Actually, we have to move on to NBA draft talk.
Oh, yeah, jeez. Yeah, NBA draft's on Thursday. I didn't do too much of a deep dive. I shouldn't have too much. What's more interesting is everything around the draft than what is the draft.
Yeah.
It's just so because the Hornets have two, right? They don't need a point guard, but the clear second best player based on
Scoot.
is Scoot, who's a point guard. And so do they take him and pair him with LaMelo? That's a little bit of a weird pick. But Brandon Miller is a way better fit, but his ceiling is probably not as high. I like the Danny Granger comparisons. A little bit of a smooth, bigger wing who can shoot who can shoot. I even saw Jabari Smith Jr. comparison, but a little bit better off the dribble, which is interesting too. But it's just Scoot, they're saying, would be number one pick in any other draft. You can't not take Scoot, pretty much, but then do you just trade out of it?
Or trade LaMelo.
And then if you trade LaMelo, where does he go? And then if
The Knicks. Just kidding. Imagine having Brunson and LaMelo. That would be disastrous.
Oh, it'd be real bad.
You would not get a single stop.
No, but I love LaMelo, and if he could stay healthy, I think he's awesome. But
Me too, but that would have been a move to make 2 years ago.
yeah, for sure. And then even weirder is what if they don't take Scoot at 2 and he falls to 3, and that's Portland. Portland for sure doesn't need another point guard.
No.
So then then the value there, they might wait till Thursday to make that trade. But then it's just like there's so many moving parts, it's almost impossible to predict. I've heard Zion could be on the move to Portland. That seems to be the rumblings. I've heard there's going to be a lot of moving parts and it's weird because Orlando picks high. They don't need anyone. They don't need any more players. They should have consolidated a long time ago. They don't have Paolo and Franz Wagner are pretty
awesome.
much and they're their only two pieces that I think are really cornerstones of their team. They have 400 point guards. I think they're still paying Jonathan Isaac for 3 more years, who he may never even play again. I think he just got
He came back, right?
But I thought he got another serious injury.
Oh, man.
I think he did.
That sucks.
Yeah.
That guy's screwed.
Yeah. So it's and then they have Fultz, Suggs, Cole Anthony. I think I'm forgetting someone. They don't need more prospects. They have they traded Mo Bamba.
Yeah, the Lake Show.
Yeah, they have Wendell Carter and they have Bol Bol. They just have too many players. Like they should have made trades. Though honestly, my main takeaway from this draft is that it's going to be so many moving parts and that there's not a lot of good shooters. And that could make a lot of the shooters move up in the draft. Because it's weird how teams keep drafting guys who can't shoot and then hoping they'll learn how to shoot. That doesn't really work unless you're a Ja Morant type player. Like Jaden Ivey, I don't think he's ever going to be... I was wrong about him. I really wanted the Knicks to get him. But I didn't see anything last year that makes me think he'll be even close to that caliber of player, unless he learns how to shoot a lot. Like even Jalen Green still profiles as a better player because he's a way better shooter. And the Thompson twins can't shoot. They just can't shoot. Scoot's a good mid-range shooter.
Scoot's got, from what I've heard, and unfathomable work ethic too. He will
I've heard
lock
that about
himself in the gym until he's a good shooter.
I've heard that about the Thompson twins too, but their form is just they've shown a willingness to change their form, but it's real hard to learn how to shoot like that. But Scoot has a good mid-range game, which I think bodes well to furthering their range. Russell Westbrook never did it, and it's why he didn't age well. But even Ja Morant's become a better 3-point shooter, you know? He's at least passable. I mean, even Giannis for a time there was passable. It just opens up your game so much. But there's a lot of non-shooters in this draft, and I think it could lead to a lot of shakeups where guys like Grady Dick go a little bit higher because he can shoot. And because he's like a little bit more than that, I think he actually might be good.
Drive, yeah.
Yeah,
Grady Dick was like one of the highest rated prospects ever out of high school, and that's
I don't think I knew that actually.
That's like a guy that NBA teams kind of love.
Yeah, I could see him actually being pretty good, aside from him getting mercilessly bullied in the NBA.
Yeah.
Hopefully not by his own team.
Probably though, but like not bullied, but like.
They're gonna.
Like, what if
I don't mean
buddy's
bullied.
last name is Dick, you're not gonna make fun of him.
I did. There was a kid in my fraternity whose last name was Dick.
That kid probably got.
No, I think they left it alone. I think we left it alone. I mean, there was some jokes, but yeah, when you grow up with your last name is Dick forever, it's hard to.
Wiener's probably worse.
Wiener might be worse.
I had a guidance counselor way back in the day, like we're talking elementary school, and her last name was Wiener, and like the first time she ever introduced herself to our whole grade, just everyone laughed.
Well, kids are merciless. I was mostly making a joke, and it turned into less of a joke. But do you have a sleeper pick? I have a sleeper pick.
Do you want to go first?
Sure. It's Jordan Hawkins. I hope he's not yours.
No, he's not.
Okay, he's not so much a sleeper because he's probably going to be a first-round pick and potential lottery pick. But he is he is a phenomenal three-point shooter. Like, lightning quick release, really good footwork coming around screens, really good at shooting off the dribble and in transition. Guys like that translate immediately. He's going to step in, I think, day one and be able to play. If he could develop a little more, and he threw down some dunks in college, I think he could get a little bouncier, a little quicker, a little better off the dribble. But his shooting ability, man, guys like that are good right away. You saw it. I mean, AJ Griffin got minutes right away. Jaden Hardy got minutes not right away, but pretty early and did really well for the Mavs. Guys who can shoot translate. And so that's why he's my sleeper pick. I really like him. I will definitely be buying whatever team he's on in pick your team drafts. Sorry, in pick your team breaks.
My sleeper is that Koulibaly guy. I think his first name is Bilal.
Guy who plays with Wemby.
Yeah, he plays that in France. He's 6'7", a decent three-point shooter, just a shade under 34%. He has crazy long arms. I'm pretty sure his wingspan is 7'3". He's an elite defender, off ball and on ball. He's good at getting to the rim. I think if it can improve his three-point shooting, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think it's a little harder to improve as a three-point shooter with longer arms, and I'm only getting that from 2K.
Oh, okay. I thought you were getting that because he sounds a lot like Frank Ntilikina.
No.
But he does, though.
I know he does. Everything I just said.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know about that one. 2K definitely makes that a thing, but I
he's a wing, so he's not exactly Ntilikina.
No, I know, but Frank could have
French
been
guy with long arms, elite defensive upside, yeah. I know.
Yeah. And
needs
to improve his shooting.
Yeah.
It's but I mean, I don't know if that's a thing. My arms aren't particularly long, but a lot of the good shooters do have short arms, so like JJ Redick had a negative wingspan. Desmond Bane absolutely has a negative wingspan.
What is negative wingspan? It's
shorter than your height. Yeah. So, and those guys are real good shooters. So, yeah. I don't know. I never really thought about it being a factor. I know, like, big hands, like Shaq. Like, his hands were just too big for him to shoot. But
free throws, yeah. I mean, anything. I suppose. Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know.
Did you see the picture of Wemby holding a baseball today?
No,
at Yankee Stadium.
It's just like a foosball.
Pretty much.
That's hilarious. My only thoughts on him is he's the best prospect that I have ever seen and like paid attention to as a prospect. I was too young for LeBron. I think he's the best prospect since LeBron.
That's what they're saying.
Zion was pretty hyped, but he's better as a prospect than Zion was. He does more things. Zion dunked and rebounded and was a physical freak and blocked shots and was incredibly powerful.
I mean, Zion's still at his best when healthy as a top 5 player in the NBA. He's unstoppable.
Yeah, he hasn't consistently been that, but at his best, he's unguardable.
He's pretty consistently been unguardable when he's healthy.
Yeah, but he hasn't consistently been a top 5 player when he's healthy.
That's true.
That was my point. But he's definitely unguardable when healthy. But Wembanyama, he's 7'4" and he moves like a guard.
Yeah, it's just injuries is really the only thing you...
Injuries is what will take him down if anything does.
Yeah.
Because even if... Like, he dribbles well, he doesn't truly have a guard handle, but he does handle the ball well. But he's still so good in the post and on fadeaway jumpers, and as a spot-up shooter, he'll be good, and he's so tall. You're not going to be able... I haven't even looked. He probably has like a 7'8" wingspan. I should have looked that up, but he's unguardable. He's truly unguardable. And he has good form. So he wasn't an amazingly efficient shooter. He played in France, or he played...
France.
Oh, I thought... Yeah, okay. In France.
Wingspan 8 feet.
He has an 8-foot wingspan?
That's what Google says.
Yeah, is that even...
Possible?
Is that it? What's the longest wingspan we got?
Quick maths.
Newt Bowl. 8 feet 6 inches. Is that real life? Yeah, 8 feet. That's unreal, dude. That's actually insane.
You should be able to fly if you have that long wingspan. Like,
no one else has. Mo Bamba's second at 7 feet 10 inches.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. Newt Bowl's 8 feet, dude. That's 8 inches longer.
6 inches longer.
No, I'm talking then second place.
Oh,
yeah,
current second place.
Yes. Wemby's not in the NBA yet.
True.
So, 8 inches longer than second place. That's unbelievable. But yeah, dude, he's unguardable. He's going to be a problem. And people who are arguing that he's not going to be good are just being contrarian.
Yeah, that's exactly the word I was going to use.
That's the only... I don't know how you can watch him and be like, yeah, this kid's not good. You're either lying to yourself or you just want to be different. That's all it is.
100%.
There's no way you can look at him and be like, this kid's bad. So anyone listening who thinks he's bad is wrong. And if I'm wrong, put me on ESPN again. I'll do a second appearance. That's fine.
Would you like now to officially move on to awards?
All right, you go.
Okay.
You go first.
My first award is the Jason Voorhees Award.
Was he the...
Friday.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know horror movies, but okay. Can I know what sport? I gotta know what sport, and then I can guess reasoning.
It's a soccer figure.
Is it Gregg Berhalter?
It is, yeah.
Okay, I don't know the reasoning, but I just... Is it because he's coming... Does he come back from the dead or something?
Like you
or
keep thinking he's gone.
Okay.
And then he shows up in the summer.
All right, I'll take a half a point. Mark it down.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Mark it down in your ledger.
Kai, where are you? Please keep note of that.
I didn't see him behind you, and I got really worried. I have no idea where he went. Okay.
I mean, we've kind of covered most of what there is to say about that one already. But
yeah, sorry for stealing that one.
No, I mean, he needed to be ranted on pretty early on in this show, so.
Yeah, he got me all fired up. Well, all right, my first award is going to be the Prokhorov Award.
Ivan Prokhorov?
Mikhail Prokhorov.
Mikhail Prokhorov, yeah, I knew that. I didn't know that.
Who's Ivan Prokhorov?
I don't know. I think I was just thinking of Mikhail Prokhorov.
Oh.
See, he was a Soviet hockey player.
Okay, not Mikhail Prokhorov.
Maybe I'm thinking of Ivan Prokhorov.
Yeah, that's not who I'm talking about.
I think there was a Prokhorov on the 70s and 80s Soviet hockey team.
You're right. There was. That's Ivan Prokhorov.
I don't know.
Ivan Prokhorov's currently in the NHL.
No, that's Ivan Provorov. Right?
Oh, you're right. Oh gosh.
Maybe it was the coach of the Soviet team.
I don't know. I'm not seeing it. But
all right, anyway, I don't think I know who Mikhail Prokhorov is. Oh, he's an old Nets owner, right?
Yes, old Nets owner.
Yeah, okay. Is this one going to Matt Ishbia?
It is going to Matt Ishbia.
Let's go.
Do you want to guess the reasoning?
Because
so I'll give you your full point.
It's a new owner that's just making as many moves as he can because he just started a new save in 2K.
Pleasure doing business with you. You got it, and you got the reasoning.
Look at that. Champion of CONCACAF and award guesser.
Yeah, wow. What a day for America. But yeah, that's all I got to say. Matt Ishbia came in and just took over the Suns and tore it all down and just started making reactionary trades, trying to build the best name on paper that he could. And so you did it, and you nailed it. I got nothing more for that.
Well, this is funny because my second award is the Chipotle Mobile Order Kitchen Guy Award.
You say this is funny. Is it also going to Matt Ishbia?
It's not going to Matt Ishbia.
Okay. Chipotle Mobile... Repeat it to me one more time.
The Chipotle Mobile Order Kitchen Guy. So you know that little side kitchen?
Yeah, I
Chipotle?
do. It's that little tiny stove that they put the guy who makes the mobile orders at, who makes all the terrible orders.
Yep.
Yeah, okay, so how do I make this translate to an award?
It's in the basketball realm.
It's going to a player.
No.
It's going to a coach.
No.
Okay, I don't know. Just tell me it.
Okay, so when you order from Chipotle on the app or delivery, your order will be made in that little side kitchen thing, and occasionally you'll get a good bowl or a burrito or whatever you get, but for the most part you can expect to be pretty consistently disappointed by the guy that was brought in on the side to help with operations.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason I said this is funny is because the right-hand man to new Suns owner Matt Ishbia is former Knicks president Isaiah Thomas.
Is it really?
Yeah.
I actually didn't know that. I would have never guessed that.
Other day.
Wow. Okay.
So Isaiah Thomas is, like the Chipotle mobile order guy, really not who you want handling your business, because you're usually going to be disappointed. Sometimes it'll work and you'll get lucky. So I got a phone call.
That's okay.
When IT was the Knicks GM, the whole league was starting to go small ball, and he traded a boatload of picks for Eddie Curry and signed Randolph Morris right outside of college basketball. I don't know how familiar everyone is with the Randolph Morris story, but it's pretty interesting. He actually declared for the 2005 draft right out of high school, but he didn't hire an agent. He went undrafted and was eligible to return to Kentucky, so he did, but he was still technically a free agent who could sign at any time. So when Kentucky was eliminated from the tournament the next year, 5 days later, he signed for the Knicks and became the first player to play in the NCAA and the NBA in the same week. But similar to the Chipotle mobile order guy, when you're relying on Isaiah Thomas as your guy off to the side helping with things, more often than not, you're probably going to be disappointed. And I think the Beal trade could be a moment that is hard to recover from for a title window perspective in the next few years.
Who was the player that you said?
Randolph Morris.
Oh, I know the name. I didn't know that fact, though.
It's fun, right?
That is a fun fact. I'm going to give the Aim for the Bushes award.
There Go My Heroes?
Yes, but that's not... The There Goes My Heroes is not the reason behind it. That's all I got.
It's a decision that was made that is just straight up impossible for anybody watching it to justify because there weren't even bushes.
That's really good, and I probably should have saved this one for a more applicable time, but I just didn't have a name for it. But no, it's going to the motives behind those characters who only did everything. All their decisions were made by money and glory, and then just like all about maximizing their fame, pretty much. And this is going to... It's going to someone who made a decision solely based on money.
Is this going to Phil?
Of the future?
Mickelson?
No, it is not. It's more current.
More current.
Yes.
Is this going to Benzema?
No, it is going to Monty Williams, who signed to coach for the Pistons for 6 years and $78.5 million.
Holy, oh my God.
Yes. He is by far the highest paid coach in the NBA.
Holy hell.
And I think he said he's making $13 million annually, which is more than Pop at 11. And he admitted in his press conference that his record-setting contract was a big reason for him agreeing to coach them.
At least he's open about it.
Yeah, it's just you rarely hear someone like that. Someone admit to something like that. A big reason. Not just a reason, not just, it was a factor in my decision. It was a big reason in him choosing to coach the Pistons. So his entire motive behind making that decision was money. Otherwise, he never would have coached the Pistons. If they gave him $9 million a year or $8 million, he wouldn't have signed there.
13's crazy.
13
That's
is
what Kuzma's
crazy.
making.
Yeah. He's making NBA like mid to upper tier role player money. Yeah. So that's why I honestly, the name wasn't great. I just wanted to use it. I just wanted to use Aim for the Bushes because that's my favorite movie of all time. But it kind of tied in. It was a little bit loose. You couldn't have guessed it. I apologize for making it so you couldn't have possibly ever guessed that.
I've done that to you.
Yes, you have. So I guess now we're even. I was trying to think of a character who makes decisions based on money. I couldn't think of like who's one? Like I don't even know. I could have gone Succession, but you haven't seen it. Oh, I could have gone Gordon Gekko. I typed in on Google characters who make decisions based on money, and I didn't find anyone good. I got
Ed. From Ed, Edd, and Eddy.
Oh yeah, no, I couldn't. I wouldn't have thought of that. I never.
Mr. Krabs, Eugene.
No, I was gonna go Mr. Krabs, but Mr. Krabs is cheap, so it's different. I didn't want it to go to a person who was cheap or like penny pinching. But Mr. Krabs was my first thought. But yeah, not my best award. But Monty Williams, I also just wanted to shine a light on that contract because I knew you'd find that absurd.
I had no idea.
Yeah. But
I like that award though.
Yeah. It was, again, we just got back from the bachelor party, so I just could not come up with, my brain's barely functioning right now. As my brain is worse off than my throat. So we're doing trivia?
Yeah. I have
right.
some okay trivia. I think it's pretty enjoyable.
Okay.
It's 2 parts. I decided to go with 2 parts.
Okay, let's see if I can even get my brain functioning.
The first, it's going to be 1 to 3. I want you to order from most to least Clint Dempsey clubs by goals.
1 through 3.
Yeah.
Okay.
4. 1 through 4.
Sounders.
By goals, Sounders is actually not 1.
Fulham is 1.
With 50 league goals.
Well, I knew he had that one year where he had like 19 or like 18 or something, but I'm surprised he didn't top that with Sounders.
It's close.
Okay, so Sounders is 2?
With 47.
What else did he play for? FC Dallas? No, he was from Texas. Who else? Did he play for Everton?
No.
Can I... Is it in...
MLS.
It is MLS. What team did he play for before he went to England? Is it that? Is that the timeline?
Yes.
Yeah. Is it... Okay. Is it a red team? Do they wear red?
Not primarily, but yes, it's prominent in the color scheme.
All right, I don't know it. Tell me.
The New England Revolution.
Yeah, that's who. Damn it.
And then there's one more. Not
MLS.
Not MLS.
What league?
The Premier League.
Is it...
Far and away the least amount of games and goals.
Okay. Is it a team that's like still in the Premier League?
Yes, prominently in the Premier League, never wins anything.
Oh, Tottenham?
Yeah.
Okay. The second you said prominent, I remembered that he played for Tottenham.
Nah, you should have went with the second. I said they don't win anything because that would have cut
Well,
all of our Spurs fans to the core.
Well, you said prominent first, so that's
True.
when I got it. But, that was disappointing. I forgot he played for the Revs.
You want another one?
Yeah. Let's go part 2. That was a real bad showing by me, but I don't know if I can even do better.
Tim Howard, same ranks system by league appearances.
Everton.
Without fail, like orders of magnitude, number 1 ahead of everything else.
Yeah. I know United's on there. Probably 3rd or 4th.
United is, I believe, 4th.
Okay. Was it Colorado?
Yeah,
That's
so
2.
Everton's at 329
Mm-hmm.
with 1 goal.
Mm-hmm.
Colorado is at 100.
Okay. And then there's a 3rd place that I'm missing?
3rd, 4th.
I thought you said United was 4th.
Yeah, so you're missing 4. You're missing 3rd.
Pardon his lisp.
I went Kanye for a second.
Missing 3rd. Can I know the league? Is it MLS?
No, it's not, but it's...
Is it too much of a giveaway?
Well, actually, now it's MLS. It wasn't back in the day.
Okay.
It's now an MLS team that wears red. But from 98 to 2003 when he was there, it was not.
Is it like Chivas?
No.
Are they even still in the MLS? I don't think they are.
No, they're not.
I don't know it.
88 appearances for the Metro Stars, who are now the New York Red Bulls.
I feel a little betrayed.
Why?
because now they wear red, but they didn't used to wear red.
I said now they're an MLS
and now
team.
they're an MLS team. I was thinking, yeah, the Metro.
I think you got Nashville brain.
I know I have Nashville brain, but I don't think I would have gotten Metro Stars. But I think I could have gotten it based on your hints if I had comprehended them properly. It's a bad showing out of me this whole episode. I'm very sorry, guys.
I think it's been pretty good.
Yeah, it's just not my best. It's not my best. You've been phenomenal.
Oh, thank you.
Very proud of you. But for me, man, can't how it sound good. Probably don't look good. Didn't have a good award. I do have a dog on my shirt. I like dogs. I'm sure a lot of you guys do too.
I hope.
He has one on our cover. Cover? Our logo. God, I gotta go home. All right, are we done? Is that it for
essentially? Do we have anything to close out? Like things coming up? I'm going to Puerto Rico tomorrow. That'll be fun.
Yeah, that will be fun for you. I've got work tomorrow, which is I love work. If my boss is listening,
does he listen? Be fun. Does he know this exists?
No, I don't want him to listen.
Why not?
I don't know.
I hope.
What if I say something? What if I say something stupid? Yeah, that's fair. Your boss can. Yeah, your boss definitely doesn't listen either, though. His boss being my brother. Yeah. I don't think I got anything else.
The Golden Knights won the Stanley Cup. And when I was doing my show prep, I wasn't sure if that happened before our last episode or not, but it did not. It happened 6 days ago.
I know for a fact that something happened that I wanted to talk about, and I forgot it completely, and now it's wiped from my memory. Like, what's the Men in Black?
Oh, Craig Carton is leaving WFAN. His last show is going to be maybe this Friday, June 30th. I'm really sad about that.
Yeah.
He's being replaced by Tiki Barber.
Which is cool.
Tiki's really good.
Yeah.
Very talented. Future guest.
Hope so. Yanks are a dumpster fire.
Yeah, Mets actually had a rebound showing yesterday, which I'm sad about.
Literally everything I complained about the Yankees has only gotten worse since then.
Yeah.
So it's going to get ugly before it gets better. Without Judge, we're just not good.
No, they're going to miss the playoffs.
It depends. It depends how long Judge is out.
Do you want them to send Volpe down?
No.
Do you think they need to?
No, because who they're replacing him with? IKF?
Peraza?
In AAA though, it's
give him a shot.
No, get rid of Donaldson before you get rid of Volpe.
I would love for them to.
Yeah, but Volpe's actually not even been our worst hitter lately.
Not our worst, but I just don't know. Like at a certain point, when are we not helping him anymore by letting him just try to figure it out in front of everybody criticizing him?
I honestly don't even think. I think the critics, everyone else has been so bad that I think people have been lightening up on him because of how awful everyone else has been. Even in the field, dude. It's been a embarrassing. We just got swept by the Red Sox.
Yeah.
So, just real bad. I don't see a way out without Judge. Bader's back tonight, which helps.
Big. Yeah, that's huge.
Because we've had minor league infielders as our starting outfielders lately. I mean, just the ground he covers alone will help our pitchers. But yeah, it's bad. Judge out hurts us on so many levels. But that's all I got on that. I don't have it in me to get all upset about the Yankees right now.
So I believe that wraps up episode 9, right?
Yeah, that's
we get
about
syndicated episode 10.
Yeah, we'll probably just be.
I know there's 10 somewhere in there.
Yeah, we'll probably. That's probably when our $1 million contract kicks in too.
Sweet.
So yeah, good episode. See you guys next week.
Thank you for listening.